So, boys, I'm a weak man.
Why? Why are you a weak man, Seth?
I was playing this new game that you guys might not have heard of recently. It's called Baldur's Gate 3. We haven't talked about it on the show that much yet, so I felt like this was the week to bring it up. And I haven't
heard about it.
I had to do something pretty unserviceable yesterday in my game. Now, I found one character that I was like, this character is so cool. This is going to be like my Tali. Like Mass Effect Tali was the character I was always around. And then I've been hanging out with this one character in the game, and I'm like, yeah, this character's awesome. I'm going to stick with them till the end. And yesterday I got into a dialogue option with a very cool character you meet throughout the game, and it was like it was one of those moments where I was like, all right, let me save right here.
He's gonna save Scummit. He's gotta know.
So I did a quick save because I had to know what happened with this character. I went through like 20 to 30 minutes of dialogue with this character, got to a scene, was like, all right, that was cool, whatever. And then right after the scene, the character that I've been with the whole time walks in after I was already told distinctly that it would be a secret. Well, and is like,
sorry, Seth, did you
and is like
cheating in this game?
Yeah, and she was like, really? With her? And I was like, okay, quick load.
Yeesh. Oh, no. Oof. That's a big oof.
Yeah, it was one of those moments where I was like, well, today wasn't my best performance, guys.
Yeah. And that's why they put saves in this game. I mean, so if this were an actual session of D&D, this is just the, we tried something, it didn't really work out, so the DM retcons it, we move on, we pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that, though, Zach, you said you have been playing a lot of the game this week, and I want to know what it's been like for you so far.
Yeah, so, Baldur's Gate 3 is my new obsession. I legitimately cannot. So I've been super busy at work this week, so I have not been able to like sit down with this game and just like focus on it exclusively. But I've been playing it almost every night to the detriment of my sleep. Not a great schedule. We'll
doesn't need to be.
Tighten that up. Yeah, but in any case, it's wild. So I've played through. I haven't even checked after my last session. I'm pretty sure I'm close to 26, 27 hours. And so I'm still firmly in Act 1, I think. I don't know. Like, it hasn't said you're in Act 2 now, so I assume
it'll tell you.
Okay, yeah. So I've just been exploring that starting area and the surrounding things. I'll say in a previous episode, Seth, you mentioned there was an interesting moment where you had a couple of different options for how this one, it was like two factions in conflict.
Yes.
And you had multiple options to handle it. I just dealt with that. That was the last thing I did in a roundabout third way, which was just kill everyone in the one faction before it even starts. So it's not the direction I was planning on going, but I got to the moment of truth where it's like, all right, you can send these factions into conflict with one another, and I'm like, well, no, why the fuck would I risk innocent lives? I'm Haymog, so yeah. We're just gonna deal with this right now. Because I think there was even like an Oath of Devotion paladin option where it was like, we cannot allow these crimes to stand or whatever. I was like, you said it, Haymog, not me.
You make the rules, I follow them.
Yeah, exactly. But I was I just got to 5th level, so it wasn't all that bad. I feel like you're supposed to handle this a little bit earlier than I did, because I went on this whole side tangent where there was an entrance to the Underdark somewhere in this game, and so I just fucked off down there for a super long time, and I was kind of under leveled for that outing, but going through that got me up to fifth, and then I was able to come back and steamroll this section. But yeah, no. So I don't think it's a big spoiler to mention character names of characters who don't show up otherwise in D&D. So I know, Seth, this character that is your Tali, I believe, is Karlak or Karlak, right?
Hell yes, she's so freaking cool, dude. And there was this one scene with her yesterday that I was not expecting to be the most heartwarming thing I've experienced in a game, and like in forever. Like, the only thing that compared to it for me was like when freaking Zelda in Tears of the Kingdom goes through her like long arc. Like whenever you get to like the climactic cutscene with Zelda, and then I'm playing this game, I have one scene with Karlak where she's like, "This is the thing I want. Is that okay with you?" And I was like, "Abso-freaking-lutely." And I go through this scene with her that is like just the most like, these characters, just like I said, I think what was it in Cyberpunk 2077? I was like, I remember telling you guys like, the main characters feel like they're people with problems and real things that they need to take care of, right? And that's how I feel about like every character and NPC in this game. Like yesterday, I'm walking through Act 3 in this one area, and Act 3 notably takes place in like the city. So I'm like going through this place, and these NPCs are just having a conversation to the side. These aren't notable characters. They have names, but like they don't mean anything. They don't have any dialogue options. They don't do anything for the story. And literally, I'm walking by, and this kid is just like, "Yeah, I can't believe this thing happened to me." And this one guy's like, "Hey, don't worry about it. You know, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of you." And I go up and talk to him. I'm like, "Oh, is this guy bothering these kids? Is he gonna like try and kidnap them? Let me make sure that doesn't happen." I walk up and he's like, "Oh, no. This kid just like saw their parents get killed in front of them, so I'm handling that." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. See you later. Have fun in the City of Blood." And then and then I go away, and I'm like, "Oh, that was a real character, a real NPC that like." The facial expressions, the problems they have, I'm like, man, these are real.
Yeah, I'm absolutely blown away just by the level of detail that they've included for, you know, all of the NPCs. Like everyone's got like, you know, at least a motive and sort of like a thing about them. Even all the random villagers or townsfolk that you know, that don't directly impact the plot. There's we mentioned, or Chase mentioned the other day, like he was playing with some other players, and he was pissed that they were talking to every NPC along the way.
Yeah.
But I could easily, if I weren't trying to beat this game within a reasonable time frame, I could easily, you know, make sure to go through and talk to everyone, because usually you find some good nuggets by doing that, and you never know which NPCs are going to be interactable or not. But you know, the generic NPCs, you know, the general ones that you run into are pretty fleshed out. But like the party members that they have are just, they're all so interesting. They're you know, multifaceted. There aren't any characters where it's like, yes, you are like, you're unequivocally good. There's always like an angle to it. But out of all the characters, Karlak is definitely the most wholesome. So that I've run into thus far, we'll mention. So I'm also I'm leaning towards Karlak. I like well, we'll see. But there's been a lot of characters that I'm also absolutely in love with. Honestly, Asterion too. I hated him on first look. I was like, "You're garbage. You're going." Yeah, like it's when you catch a new Pokemon, and it's like you're going to the box for sure. But
yeah.
But he's actually he's really grown on me. I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah. So my box Pokemon right now are Gale, Asterion, and Lae'zel, and I cannot wait to play again and have them be my main party members and not touch the other ones that I've already gone through their stories.
Yeah, and I've been trying to interact with the others too. Like I haven't taken Lae'zel out of the box for a while either. But I have been trying to, like, you know, I mean, Gale's got his shit going on, so I got to keep up with that. Will is the only one that I've really been like, sorry,
Man,
we'll save you for next time.
That's crazy because Will is like he's my boy. Like he's my like partner in crime basically. And also like his story ties in with a lot of things that we have experienced in our tabletop game.
Yeah, no, I'm infinitely interested in the shit going on with him. I just don't have a place for him mechanically in my party.
The thing is,
and so that's
there's like a 50-50 choice with him you make at some point that I was like, do I have to do a second playthrough of this specific spot? Because I need to know what happens on the other side of this.
Well, that's the interesting thing. Like, that shit's constantly happening.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking in vague terms, if you haven't played Baldur's Gate 3, we might get into, we kind of already have. So, audience at home, just be warned that, we're not going to release any big spoilers, but if this conversation thus far has been a little spoilery for you, go pick up the game because it's great. But in any case, there are even at the start with Will, right? There were interesting choices to make that totally would completely change the direction of the game, or even you mentioned this on the show before. At the start of the game, there's a character who can become a party member and has this whole fleshed out story to go through, and you can completely miss that, entirely optional.
Yeah.
So that's wild.
Yeah.
So I gotta know, as someone here who has not played Baldur's Gate 3, I'm hearing nothing but great things about it, right? We've talked a number of times about how in-person gameplay of D&D versus, online is pretty indistinguishable. Playing online is great, but being in person is the best. So with all these games trying to replicate D&D at the table online, for both of you guys, with Haemog and Galandon, as you guys follow your characters through this digital kind of variation, do you feel like you're playing them again? Do you feel like this is kind of like a remaster, or like a new adventure for them? Or is it more so just they're kind of there to help you enjoy the D&D game?
So I will say my least favorite thing about my run right now is Galandon. I don't
really.
I'm playing I'm playing an extremely like everything I do is like the hero's journey, like very good. Any good options I can get, I go for. But right now, like I really want to play a different character that's not him. I don't know if it's just because I'm not enjoying Bard as much, but what I am enjoying is he has a lot of AoE spells like Shatter. I just got the Bard's magical secrets because I'm level 10 now. Mm-hmm. So
nice.
Ooh.
So you're level 10.
Yeah, I'm level 10.
You're getting up there.
Yeah,
because I did hear that the level cap in this game is 12.
Yes.
So that's sad.
Yes.
But,
yeah, because
really?
Yeah, because
I mean it's a whole campaign,
It's like a 1 to 13 campaign basically. Yeah. So you're going through this campaign. They don't have like I'll just say you're not battling it out with Asmodeus in this game. That would have probably doubled their freaking programming time to like their development time because they would have had to include way more spells and a lot more complex options for what you can do past these levels. Anyways.
Right, I mean, what the fuck do you do when the wizard says, yeah, I plane shift. I want to go to one of the, the many planes out there. Like, obviously you have to limit the options, but you have to at least have some.
Yeah.
So that's like adventures right there. Like, how do you deal with that?
Yeah, so, basically, Galandon right now, I changed my changed my subclass to College of Valor because College of Swords did not feel good at all. Being a melee bard was not that fun. And so I'm College of Valor now, meaning I can wear solid medium armor. I have a shield. I have 23 AC. I have buffs and AoE spells.
So the three, I didn't look into bard that much. The three subclasses they've got are Valor, Swords, and Lore.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, those are the three. So
that's crazy that they did Valor and Swords.
Yeah,
because in my mind those are sort of the same thing. Because Valor's in typical 5e, Valor's the one that gives you extra attack and is shitty, and Swords is the one that gives you extra attack and is fun. But
yeah, I wasn't having fun with Swords because it felt like they were a weaker battle master.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
And I was like, well, if I wanted to play that, I would just be a Battle Master fighter. And so I went Valor, and I'm using a shield right now. I have a really awesome sword that basically lets me have like a paladin aura all the time. Ooh. So I have a paladin aura that makes it so either my party all get extra D4s on their rolls, or all the enemies get minus a D4 on their rolls. And we do 1d4 extra thunder damage when we're within range of them. So I'll run in 23 AC and just stand there taking hits while everybody around is doing extra d4s of damage every time.
Yeah, my optimal strategy has definitely... So I'll level with you, or I'll agree with you that I've enjoyed role-playing Haemog, but he's definitely... He doesn't feel like he's the strongest member of my party either. Really, Karlach is just carrying us all on her shoulders.
Yeah, I mean, same.
So just the stuff that you can pull off with... I mean, I guess, minor spoiler for her class. She's a barbarian, so I took her berserker.
That's not a spoiler. It tells you that in the character creation screen.
Yeah, so anyway, I've been... doing like a throwing build basically, because one of the berserker's features, they completely redid how frenzy works, and it's great now. One of their features is when you make a weapon attack, you can either make a additional attack as a bonus action, or you can do a throw as a bonus action, and then each time you do that, I believe you get a -1 to your attack rolls until the end of the rage. So each time you use your extra bonus action attack that you would typically use as a berserker, you get a -1, but then it goes away after the end of that. So there's no exhaustion mechanics, and it ends up feeling a lot more fun, and it's like tactical because you have to decide, can I really afford to do this attack, or should I hold off on it so that I can more consistently hit in the future? But anyway, throwing is super fun with her because you can just run up to... if they're small folk, especially, good fucking luck. You just manhandle them, throw them wherever you want. Oh, you're down the pit. You're down the pit. You're down the pit. Or I'm going to pick you up and throw you into your friend, and you're both going to die.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, and I've got a returning pike that she's got. They allow you to throw pretty much anything that you want in this game, even if it's not a weapon with the thrown.
You can pick
property,
up a chest and throw it.
Yeah, you can throw, and you can even. I don't know if you know this, Seth, but you can even throw potions.
Yes.
And so you can throw potions of healing, and they'll like crash into someone and heal them. Oh. And you can even, like, if you gather everyone up together, you can do like a little AOE healing, get everyone in on that. But yeah, so she's got this returning pike that she'll throw, and then it'll come back to her, and she'll throw it again, and that's her thing.
Yeah, so she's
been super
she's
cool.
got a legendary returning weapon for me right now, that I managed to get in Act 3, and it literally it glows like within a radius of like 30 feet, and so she'll get her couple of hits in, she'll spin around and throw it into somebody, it'll return to her hand. It's so cool. And shove and throw are probably the sleeper agents of Baldur's Gate 3 that if you're not using them, you're playing a completely different game than I am.
Same.
Because I was fighting two, like, 250 HP, like, large automaton, like, type enemies yesterday. One of them stood too close to, like, to an edge, and Karlach ran up and shoved him into the water, and they died instantly, no hits. I just pushed them into the water, and they died.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that you can pull that shit off.
Yeah, and then also Will with his Eldritch Blast shoves people. He has the repelling blast, and so the other enemy, Karlach, pushed close to the edge, and then Will, who is a wild magic sorcerer / freaking warlock, used Tides of Chaos to give himself advantage and just blasted this thing into the water. So I killed like 500 HP with their enemies with like 3 hits.
Yeah, and just to gush about this specifically, I love the. I haven't used Will at all, but I love the animation and sound that plays for Eldritch Blast.
Because I'm casting it every turn,
juicy.
it's the coolest spell in the game just to watch.
But yeah, so to go back to your question, Drew, though, about do you feel like you're playing your character in this game? I'm gonna say, or does this feel equivalent to like role playing your character through a game of D&D? With the amount of hours that I've put in, I'm going to say no, it's not the exact same feeling as playing D&D.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree because, I don't feel like I'm playing Galandon or anything like that. Maybe if I was playing with friends and we were all like voicing our characters, then I would be like, okay, now I'm kind of getting this. But what I will say is mechanics-wise and the characters that are around me, you remember playing through Mass Effect with me, Drew. This is the Forgotten Realms version of the Mass Effect trilogy. Like, Acts 1, 2, and 3 are Mass Effects 1, 2, and 3. And you're playing through it, and it's a fantasy, Forgotten Realms characters you already know.
Yeah, and it's just a treat every time. There are a lot of... so some major Forgotten Realms faces do show up. But even some minor characters, like while I was running around in the Underdark, and Seth, you don't even know this, but there were a couple characters from Out of the Abyss that I just ran into. I was like, that's so fucking cool. I know who you are. I haven't run you yet, but you're in the book, so that's cool.
Yeah.
And I imagine there are probably some others that I don't even know about in other books.
The main antagonists of the game, you guys will notably recognize because they were like very minor in the Descent into Avernus like intro. And so I didn't learn about it until later on, and I was like, oh my god, wait a second, that's what's going on here. Oh, and then I got infinitely more invested because I was like, I know the lore of these people, and so
I can't wait to get like into Baldur's Gate too, because like running around in the wilderness has been great, it's been fun, but there's been everyone is interested in getting into Baldur's Gate. They're like, yeah, I know this guy in Baldur's Gate. Hey, look me up when if you ever go to Baldur's Gate. I'm like, I gotta follow these threads, man. You can't keep feeding me these crumbs. Take me to the meat already.
Yeah, and every side storyline does like come to a head in the city of Baldur's Gate. Like, there's a character you can like save early on in the game that is I'm still interacting with in Act 3 that I'm like, if I had not made it to you or saved you in time or just passed by your area and didn't do this, you wouldn't be here right now. And he's kind of like the Brock and Sindri to my group, I feel like. Like where I see him and I'm like, oh, I know you. Anyways, what's going on? How can I help?
That's cool.
Yeah, and there are a lot of NPCs like that that I've run into early on where they're like, if you're ever in Baldur's Gate, look me up. And I'm like, I absolutely will.
Yeah. So one thing is I feel like Act 2, while it has amazing, like, what I'll say is the dungeons in Act 2 are some of the best video game dungeons I have been in a long time. Like, I was having so much fun going through these things and just, killing everything because the combat, once you get used to it and you're high enough level to have cool spells and make every combat different. And so once I was suited up with magic items and stuff, I started like seeking out these dungeons and they're super cool. But the most civilization you have up to that point is like the Grove at the very beginning. And I'm like, man, we are just dealing with dark, sad places up until we get to Baldur's Gate. And while that's awesome, like I've loved every bit of the game so far, I did feel a little bit of drag throughout Act 2 and going into Act 3. But the exploration of Act 2 is phenomenal, and there's a lot you can do in it.
Yeah, and so I will just, since I feel like this is our informal Baldur's Gate 3 review, I will bring up my my criticism with the game. It's probably not the same for everyone, though I have heard there has been some discussion about this in the community. So I've been playing on my older system. I mean, I built it in 2020, I think. And so it's not outdated by any means, but it does struggle with some games from last generation. And so I did not expect it to be able to play Baldur's Gate 3. It's actually been holding up very well, but I have run into some bugs that have made it more frustrating to play through at certain junctures, just like there have been a couple of moments where there's like a scripted cutscene that's supposed to play, and I never hit the trigger, and then everything freezes up, and I'm like, so is this my life now?
Yeah.
And I have to like quick save and then reload and just pray that it didn't corrupt the whole thing, and I have to go back like 20 minutes or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's the worst in this game. I'll tell you. Pro tip for all you people who haven't played the game yet: don't save scum, but save often.
Yeah.
Because it's just the worst to, I haven't total party wiped yet, but I've gotten close enough to reload once or twice. So there is that. So just be aware that not only just in game you can run into problems that you'll need to load back, or bugs that will necessitate that. So I have lost a little bit of progress a couple times because of that, and also just little minor things like Asterion. Ever since I got him this, he's got a cool magic longsword that has the finesse property, so he's able to get that D10 sneak attack, or D10 weapon with sneak attack. So that's awesome. But yeah, it hasn't been the nicest on my gaming experience, because every time I sneak attack with it, the game's like, I don't know how to do that. And then it'll hitch for like maybe 10 seconds, and then it goes through.
Yeah, it does that every so often. Like, you'll run into something where it's like, man, I'm doing a lot of things at once right now. Can you give me a second? And then it'll take like 15 seconds until it does anything. It happens in combat sometimes where like I'll make a move, and then it'll be the enemy's turn, and there will be like 6 enemies going at once, and then one enemy is like, give me a second, I gotta think. And he'll
which it is kind of like the DM just figuring out what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
So it's maybe an authentic D&D experience, but
if anything, it is an authentic D&D experience, because they do not pull the punches on me in combat. That's for sure. Where I'll go through a moment where I'm like, oh man, I'm wrecking these guys right now. One mage from the side, I don't have any counter spells left. He'll fire off a whole person on like Karlach. She's in the middle of 3 enemies, and then all of a sudden, all of them are extra attacking, getting critical hits on her. And I'm like, oh, so there goes 110 hit points, and she's down. Okay, and that's something that you
whole person is brutal too.
Yeah,
because it is auto crits.
Yeah, it just.
I think it's the only thing that really does that for the most part as far as auto crits. That like extra abilities or something. It's kind of nuts because we really never even saw it in our party right now in our current campaign of Descent into Avernus, which I think is weird because every time I look at that spell, I'm like, damn, that spell's so good.
Yeah, and it happens in the game.
We've been fighting monsters the whole time.
Yeah,
it's true.
And it happens in the game so often where like you'll get hold personed, or like enemy casters in the game are brutal. You don't come across them that often, but when you do, they cast like an AoE spell on your party. And there was one moment in Act 2 where I probably spent 2 to 2.5 hours on one fight because I kept doing really well at the beginning, and then they would cast a spell that like gathers us all up and just start blasting us with AoE attacks. And I was like, I can only counterspell so many of these.
Yeah, you know what? That's fuck.
Yeah.
I may have made a grave error because currently my party build, I'm rocking a paladin, barbarian, rogue, and cleric. Not one counterspell in the group. So I'm going to have to start keeping my eyes open for scrolls.
Yeah.
Because they do give you a lot of those.
They give you a lot of scrolls and health potions.
Yeah, I've been supplementing my lack of a caster with spells, lots of spell skill usage.
Something that's super cool about the potions is there is an alchemy system in this game that I only started to mess around with like 50 hours in, because I had so many like ingredients that I had picked up along the way. And yesterday, I managed to craft 10 potions of speed to give to Karlach. So she can have haste actions.
Are those like haste?
Yeah, it's a haste.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just haste. So now as a bonus action, after Karlach rages, she can use a potion of speed and have 4 attacks with Great Weapon Master.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got Boots of Speed on Haemog currently. So bonus action. The way it works, it's not actually haste. But you can bonus action click your heels together.
Yeah, the potion of
it's like a dash.
Yeah,
basically.
the potion of speed is a haste. You do get the extra action.
No, I've used a couple of those too. Because
Yeah, she has like
while I was
15
in
of them
the
on her
Underdark,
right now.
Yeah, I was on the back foot in every fight that I started in the Underdark. I was getting ambushed.
The first one you get into is
scary
awesome.
shit down there.
Yeah, the first one you get into is awesome, though, is it not?
I really don't know which one you're talking about.
A certain
because
notable
there are a couple
enemy
different
that flies
directions.
around.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That one was awesome. I just encountered that one at the end of my Underdark. Well, I've still got further to go in, but I didn't run into that one up front, and then I was like, oh, there's an area I haven't explored yet. Let me check that out real quick. And I was like, oh. Well, I'm glad I waited until I was level 5 for this because that was kind of hard.
Yeah, explore every inch of every area you go into because looking at that map, seeing it fully fleshed out and being like, yeah, I just did that is amazing. Also, charisma-based characters are overpowered in this game because if you have a character that can cast guidance along with you and then you have a charisma-based character, most things, if you choose the right options, you can just talk your way through. The bard talking your way out of things options are always so good and so funny. I literally convinced a boss to kill himself the other day.
Oh my god.
And
that's crazy.
He was already like a crazy character, but I talked to him and he was like, you know what? That would push my research further, basically. And he died, and I got the XP for it. And I didn't have to fight at all. It was a brutal scene, and I sat there like mouth agape while I watched it. But yeah, he died, and I was like, there we go, that was easy. And
yeah, which another good point to bring up. Which maybe this is a good line of questioning because I'm interested to know your thoughts, Seth. But this game it's not for children.
No.
It's definitely like this is way more adult than I was expecting from a D&D game because it's Wizards of the Coast.
I'm glad
published
though
by Hasbro. I mean, all of the content that they release in like official modules is there's room for maybe some spiciness, but there's nothing that's like really explicit.
This game is super horny.
In the books.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So there's that, but also it's really brutal in a lot of places.
I mean, this is what you would. This is most of the time what you expect and what you get out of like your D&D. Like the world that they've built in the Forgotten Realms is very true to what people see the Forgotten Realms as. Kind of like if you've seen Legend of Vox Machina, Drew, where it's kind of like gross from time to time, and also. And also, there's an overt, there's a couple of overtly sexualized scenes in it. That's exactly what this is. Like, it's that fantasy world where, like, adventure and getting into things in whatever way you want is highly encouraged. And
yeah, so really, I'm just interested that there's that tonal shift because just earlier this year we got the D&D movie, which was very much akin to like Marvel in tone.
Yeah.
But this game is like Game of Thrones, basically.
Yes.
Ooh, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, this is definitely the Game of Thrones version of it. And I can't wait to finish the main story. One, because I don't really want to play Galandon anymore. And it's not that he's not great. It's just that I lost interest in him as a character, like in the middle of Act 2, where I was like, man, this is my first character in this game, and I'm sure I'll go through plenty, as well as, trying out the origin characters. But I did create another character just because I wanted to go through that screen again, and I made this really cool white dragonborn sorcerer that I cannot wait to play because I'm like, oh, this, and I'm basing her kind of around a dragonborn that you guys have met in our campaign, Sharla.
Oh, I know the one. Yeah.
I'm basing her
Sharla.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of basing her around that kind of idea, and I'm very excited to play that character, but I can't just be like, oh yeah, I'm going to start with this character now after I'm already 50 hours in with Galandon.
Yeah, I feel you, though. On my next playthrough, I'm definitely leaning towards a caster. Probably a full wizard, if I'm being honest, because that seems super fun to me. And I don't know, maybe I'll bring Gale along.
Two wizards.
The funny thing is, like, like I was saying, it doesn't feel like you're really role playing your character. But there are lots of like, if you allow yourself to buy in that like your character is more or less, like you, and so you make the decisions that way. I've got this like little headcanon going on that Haemog is just he's really two-faced, right? Because all these party members that you get, like, they got a lot of baggage, man.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, Gale, you're cool. All right, yeah, I have an oath. I'm sworn to help people. So it's just like, Jesus Christ, man.
Dude,
stop coming at me with all your problems.
So something that in Mass Effect, you're able to go on everybody's storyline, take care of everybody's problems, and like come out on the other end with everybody intact and alive, right? In this game, I feel like with the party I have, they're already getting through combat as best as they can with their, like, as optimal as I can make them with the items I get. If I take another party member along for their story, they're just gonna go down over and over again at the point that I'm at. And also, the big thing is, like, I don't want to go through all of their stories because up until this point, for 40 to 50 hours, I've spent time with 3 to 4 characters. So I'm like, yeah, you guys are here, like, Lae'zel's here, Gale's here, Astarion's here, but I'm going to go take care of your stories on my own, and then I'll have you deal with them separately next time. Like, because...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's fair, because this is a huge-ass game, too.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really need to invest in all these different... It's not like these side stories are not important. Like, they're almost whole campaigns on their own, it seems like. Like, everyone's got their...
Dude,
it's something important that they've got to do. So,
I will tell you, Shadowheart's story, freaking phenomenal. I'm
getting the vibe from that too.
As of yet, like, I don't think any of the other stories have quite matched up to hers because you deal with a lot of like gods and stuff in the game, not like directly, but through their servants and the people that are around them, and she is directly tied into a lot of that stuff where I learned stuff about these gods and people in the game that I didn't know prior to playing. And I was like, man, this is stuff I can use in my games. Also, for Spelljammer reference for the future, can't wait to use some Mind Flayers because you learn everything about Mind Flayers in this game. I know everything, up down to the name of like transforming people into Mind Flayers. Like, who knew the word Ceramorphosis before this? Because I didn't.
I did, but I'm that kind of nerd.
No, I
just pulled it out.
No, I did not know.
It's actually I say it Ceramorphosis.
Yeah, well, I listened to Gale say it, and he goes, in a process called Ceramorphosis, and that's how.
Yeah.
So, also hearing notable NPC. You know what? I'm gonna say his name because it's so cool that you meet him right at the beginning. Anyways, when Volo says it, it's so cool. He's when he talks about it.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of it seems half and half too, because I'm pretty sure Lae'zel says Ceramorphosis, but a lot of like the more learned characters say Ceramorphosis.
Yeah.
So maybe that's it. Anyway, yeah, but you do learn like a lot of names for things too. Like there are even like Lae'zel will say things like words in her tongue. It's like, oh, that's cool. Like
yeah.
There's a canon word for that in that language. So so that it's neat. I think that this game is definitely, it's a great companion tool if you run games in the Forgotten Realms a lot, like as a DM. Definitely good for inspiration and just literacy in the world. Honestly, I feel like this is probably a better tool for learning how to run a game in the Forgotten Realms than like the Sword Coast Adventurer's Guide.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Because it's like immersive world building, right? You're plopped in it. You're like, okay, I understand how this world works.
Yeah,
I've had to, navigate.
Well,
it,
and something that's really cool is like exploring the city. Is you really get to understand why certain cities are the way they are. So Baldur's Gate, notably in D&D, is referenced to as like the City of Blood, like it's a crime-filled space. But once you get here, it doesn't really feel like that until you're like walking the streets, right? When you're walking the streets a lot, like I had a random encounter basically happen in the city with me where I was like, that would be a risk here, wouldn't it? Like, I got into an encounter in the middle of the city, and I was like, this doesn't feel out of place to me. Like walking through any other RPG and a random encounter happens, you're like, this just happens here, whatever. But these creatures like kind of came up on us, and I was like, this doesn't feel out of place at all. Like, this feels like this would happen in this city.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. I just can't stop gushing about the how fleshed out and thought out all the elements are. Like, you don't run into random encounters that feel like they don't belong there, right? Because ultimately everything is placed in a specific spot. Like, there's no such thing as a random encounter in this game, but they do have random encounter type situations that you run into that don't have anything to do with the plot, so you can choose to engage with them or not. It's like playing Dark Souls if the appeal to a lot of people for Dark Souls is like there's all this lore that you have to uncover, and it's like, wow, I can't believe how well thought out all this backstory was that they're not telling us. It's equally impressive to see, wow, it's cool to see all this backstory just on everything. Like, and you don't even have to engage with it. Like, you're just living in this world, but there are all these people around, and like they all have places they're from and things they're doing and things they want. And the monsters too. Like, ultimately, yeah, I gotta kill this guy, but I'm sure he's got some hopes and dreams. I mean, look at him. He's talking about him right now.
So, I have got to know. I'm just bursting. I have to know the answer to this question. Zach, I don't know if you can answer it or not. Have you been to Baldur's Gate in the game yet?
Not yet. It's
Okay.
It's still on my to-do list. First, I've got I don't know. I think I'm going to some fucking tower. I forget.
Okay. So then the question is directed at Seth. Then you have been inside the city, correct? Okay. Inside the city, we've talked a whole lot about characters we meet. Have you met any particular characters that might be, I don't know, standing at the top of some stairs? Perhaps maybe guarding a front gate?
I went through the Basilisk Gate yesterday for the first time.
Was Eric on shift?
I went through the Basilisk Gate for the first time. There were a couple of Flaming Fist guys there guarding the way that I spoke to, and they did not know about Front Gate Eric.
How could they not know about Front Gate Eric?
They weren't aware of him.
No, Seth, I think you're mistaken. I'm pretty sure that he was on his lunch break. He's gonna be on the next shift. You should come
but
back
what
over.
I will tell you guys is, man, the Elf Song Tavern is real cool. I went.
Do you actually hear the song?
Well, this takes place after Descent into Avernus, so.
Okay.
Different song.
Yeah.
Just live music.
There's not supposed to be an elf song anymore after that campaign. So there is a song that plays in the elf song, but it doesn't sound similar to the one that they gave us in the module and stuff. Regardless, fucking oh my god. I spent maybe an hour to an hour and a half talking to every NPC in the elf song. I also spoke to the barkeep and got some free rooms for the night. And it is my base of operations right now. Like, everything I do is there. Because
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and it doesn't make you do that. It's just anytime I need to do something, I go back to that area and I handle it.
Did you get into any tavern brawls with some pirates over there?
No,
perhaps?
but I did get in, since I'm a bard, I did end up competing with another bard in order to like tell the best jokes, and I horribly lost. I made a joke about religion, and he goes, "We don't joke about that."
Just shut you down, make you look real stupid in front of everybody.
Yeah, he literally whispers.
What was it? Just a failed performance?
No,
check,
it wasn't.
Or was
It let me. There were
made?
performance checks I could have made, but I chose the option that was like, "Oh, this joke seems funny to me," and I chose that option, and he just goes, "Oh, you shouldn't joke about that."
That's
Wild.
So terrible.
Yeah, and they
Is he your calded, perhaps?
yeah, kinda. And then this one guy, and the narrator of the game, because you do have a DM in this game, a narrator who like narrates the things that you would see happen or think about, and
She's basically like the Lord of the Rings lady.
Yeah, and
is narrating the whole game.
and she's literally
okay.
she literally tells me, she's like, one patron in the back of the tavern claps for you out of pity. and that was the.
I feel terrible.
But it was good, and I enjoyed the options for Bard very much, because it's very very playful and typical like folk hero-y, even though I did end up going noble background for Galandon.
Well, of course. He's
But can't wait to play a different character that's not a noble and not an elf, and looks and feels cool. I've got to play a sorcerer, because the meta magic in this game is off the charts, just how good it is. Using twin spell and quicken spell and distant spell. Distant spell actually comes in more than you think, because you are limited by you can really tell the distance between things in this game, is what I'll say. Things in scope are much more massive here, because they built it out and programmed it that way. In our tabletop game, we have maybe 2 or 3 maps per encounter or dungeon, right? Like on Roll20.
Right, and every time we run into an encounter, it fits cleanly within the battle map that we have available to us. So it's rare that you're ever like running into the upward edge of your range
right.
for a lot of your, like your firebolt and shit.
Right. So because of that, you are limited in scope. In this game, distance matters a lot, because 30 feet is not nearly as far as it feels on a battle map. On a battle map, you leave it up to your imagination. Here, when you're seeing it, you're like, oh yeah, that is 30 feet. Like, you look at it, you're like, yeah, that would be 30 feet in real life, and it's really far. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, the issue though is it's never far enough. Right?
Yeah,
like especially when I'm trying to like get this sneak attack off. Like,
you're 5 feet away.
Astarion, he's in the back line, cunning action hide. We got advantage on the attack, but it's like they're too far away. That's always what I run into, because they do. It's a little gamey the way that they had to make it work, hiding. But there are like cones of vision that they have for enemies, and so if you hide in plain sight and there's like nothing obscuring you, then it's like, all right, dumbass, you just wasted your turn, but you're still not hidden.
Yeah, but likewise, if you are standing right in front of them, but right outside of their cone of vision, you can stand in front of them and hide, and they won't see you.
Exactly, yeah.
So it does still feel like 5e, where you could just kind of hide wherever you want then.
Yeah, I mean, within reason, you just have to make it... you have to make it work with the mechanics of the game. And
I mean, it's kind of like in 5e, if I tell you to make a check, like to hide, you can hide. But if I say, you're standing in front of him, how are you going to do that? Then it doesn't work. Like, even if you're standing 200 feet out, if there's nothing obscuring you, how are you going to hide?
So when I create my party, would you recommend that I bring a rogue? Or would you do you think it's like a little...
No,
more
do whatever you
difficult
like.
to get sneak attack off?
Honestly, I think, and this is just me, but I think Eknon would be a perfect first character.
He would be
to
amazing.
go through this game with.
In every way.
Like a rogue is kind of necessary. Like, you always need someone who's capable of picking
Tiefling
locks.
is one of the coolest
and so,
races to play in this game.
Yeah, and Tieflings are... I won't say anything about the plot, but Tieflings are a good pick for sure. So, yeah, Eknon would fit right in this game, and I think that way. I mean, you could still take Astarion if you really like him, but that way you sort of get to build out the other characters.
Yeah, and I would think Eknon's probably a Mephistopheles bloodline Tiefling.
Yeah, maybe Mephistopheles.
In the game, he was Despotter.
Yeah, they have Mephistopheles, they have Zariel, and then they have Asmodeus bloodline.
Oh, okay. So I'll have to pick one. See, but that's where I'm concerned about bringing, because you guys talked about bringing your characters in, and I've seen how you've kind of had to tweak them from what you're saying, and I'm kind of worried about bringing Eknon in, one of my most beloved characters, my first character I've ever made in D&D, right? And not being able to play him effectively. I'm sure they don't have the Inquisitor Rogue.
No, so you'd have to be Thief, Assassin, or Arcane Trickster. And I'll let you know, Arcane Trickster is the best. Like Mage Hand, super useful in this game. And the fact that you've got an invisible one, just all sorts of shenanigans. You can use your Mage Hand to throw things. You can use it to shove people, which we know how powerful shoving is. Like you can one-hit kill people with your Mage Hand in this game.
That sounds dope, and I might have some kind of Arcane Trickster Rogue join the party at some point, or create one, or whatever. Maybe
You would probably just use Asterion if you don't make Eknon. Just take Asterion with you.
Or
maybe
you can hire adventurers too. But I definitely so before I played this game, I was like, that sucks that it's like limited in the way that you can like customize your party if you're playing single player. But why the fuck would I want to bench any of these awesome characters?
Yeah, the characters they give you are too crucial to the story, and they're too well thought out with their voice lines, who they are, what they do in the quests, and what they say on the side. If I brought on 3 hirelings that were like perfect builds, I would not enjoy the game as much for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I say that's the kind of play style that I would use on like my 5th playthrough.
Yeah.
Right. Like, okay, I've seen everyone's plot lines. Now I really just want to run with Oswin, Pyth, Varys, and Hakili, or Arafras or Nuth or whatever. Yeah, you can only have 4, but you get my point.
Oh, you can only have a max of 4?
Yeah,
it's an RPG in that sense that they're like, the characters will literally say like, all right, I'll wait in camp. You have too many people with you. And
oh man, I was hoping for like 5 or 6.
no,
just, like, bring some extra people
if
in.
I had 6 people with me, I feel like this game would be a breeze.
Truly, yeah.
Aw.
So yeah,
Can you have less?
yeah,
than
you can have
4?
less than 4.
have
You
3?
can go
Yeah, you can
solo.
run with
You can
3
go
if you
solo.
want.
Solo adventuring?
Yeah.
Or you could even you can split the party, which I've done before. It's like, all right, hey Mog, you and Shadowheart go over here. Karlach and Asterion are gonna take this side, and that doesn't always work out well, but sometimes it does. I mean, it's just like D&D, right? I should fucking know not to split the party, but
I have had Galandon go
it works
invisible
out
and do things by
occasionally.
himself. Which invisibility doesn't last an hour in this game. It lasts a certain amount of turns, which is probably fair and fine. But I've had Galandon go into turn-based mode, go off on his own, and literally just go invisible and wreak havoc. I poisoned a vat and killed a bunch of people all at one time. I snuck behind some dudes and got some really good attacks off on them. But Galandon went from being like a stealthy roguelike character in College of Swords to now being an AoE wizard, because I've got Fireball now. I've got Shatter, which was my Fireball basically. And I've got scrolls for days. I've got Cone of Cold scrolls ready to go. I've got so much good stuff just unlocked. And I also picked up Confusion, which is a fun spell in this game. You cast it on like a group of enemies, and then they all of a sudden start attacking and killing each other. Very fun. Bad thing is, if you're going against wise enemies, which I was yesterday, only one of them fails, and then immediately the next turn makes the save, so no one does anything.
Oh.
Just like in
Well, I
D&D.
mean, maybe it wastes their turn.
Well, yeah, just like in D&D,
But,
where like you use an AoE spell, it only works on one, and you're like, oh, okay, well that was a 5th level spell gone. What is just as good as it is in 5e? Spirit Guardians.
Yeah, it is. Well, so the one thing, I don't think you're able to specify allies that aren't affected. So you have
No,
to be,
my allies don't get hurt by it.
Intelligent. Mine definitely have.
What?
So maybe I'm doing something.
Are
wrong.
you using the
Yeah.
Radiant one?
Yeah.
That's crazy. When I use Spirit Guardians, it does not affect my allies. I don't know what's happening with yours.
But yeah, I had a super difficult encounter in the Underdark. There was like this whole group. I mean, it was really a nightmare because they were mostly spellcasters and then also barbarians. And so they were all the barbarians were running up to the front and the spellcasters were just making everything so fucking difficult. And so I used Spirit Guardians to I basically made a choke point, and I had Shadowheart stand in the entryway with Spirit Guardians up, but then I had to have everyone else behind, just peppering with attacks and praying that that she doesn't lose her concentration.
Yeah, so doing that, giving her Warcaster, making sure she has a mirror image, and then having also, what is it, it's the divine summon you can get.
Spiritual weapon?
No, not spiritual weapon. It's like, I forget what it's called, but you can summon.
It's probably like summon celestial.
Yeah, I can summon a celestial that they stand there. I think it's like a celestial guardian or something like that, because they stay in place and they can deal upwards of 60 hit points, but every time they deal damage.
Oh, Guardian of Faith.
Yeah, Guardian of Faith. I had a point in the game where there were way too many enemies for us to all go and single target handle them. So we all stood inside of Shadowheart's Spirit Guardians, put a Guardian of Faith up right beside us, and then everybody fired off AoE spells while they all charged in and died.
That's terrible. Just a meat
Yeah, it was just
grinder of
a
XP.
meat grinder. All of these mindless enemies running in and dying. It was so good. So
Ideal.
yeah, most of the time she'll stand at the side and keep allies buffed, and if she gets into an encounter like that, she'll use Spirit Guardians. Most of the time Karlach is just Great Weapon Master killing everybody.
Yeah, no, that's the situation I got too. Of course, Great Weapon Master is just disgusting.
I mean, just like it is in 5e.
It's gonna stink when they change it in one D&D and Great Weapon Master is no longer the most amazing feat ever.
Well,
yeah,
but
who's a video game, so it doesn't have to be balanced.
Yeah, and also we haven't seen the 1D&D player's handbook yet. So who knows if and when we end up using it frequently like that.
Yeah, I know, Seth, you mentioned that you might want to talk about this on the episode.
Yeah, we're only an hour in, so we have so much
away
time.
from Baldur's. Yeah, exactly. An hour in. To segue away from Baldur's Gate, there was a video released recently. Apparently, the new Player's Handbook UA 7 for 1D&D is going to be coming out soon. It might already be out by the time this episode drops. But there was talk about the feedback from the Player's Handbook 5, which was a long time ago at this point. But it looks like they're going to be stepping back to using just per class spell lists instead of the arcane, primal, and divine lists. So that's we'll see if they have that stick. But I get the impression that especially some of the more contentious things like that which has just been so fucking stupid. In my opinion. Sorry, Wizards, I love you for some reasons, and some reasons I don't. You get it. It's complicated. But yeah, so I think we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
A Great Weapon Master, though, I mean, that's one that has needed some retuning for a long time.
Come on, bring back Dungeon Delver. That good feat reworked and made even stronger.
Dude,
I want it. I want it real bad.
I feel like they might have had it in one of the Unearthed Arcana. It still wasn't great, but
They, as far as I know, they absolutely did not.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where I sit with. I was watching that video yesterday, and when they were talking about some things that were like being kept and some things that were going away, I was like, I don't know if I necessarily like the way they're doing the feedback, because again, the way it seems like a lot of what we're getting is, hey, give us exactly what we have with just more rules. We're going back to the way the spell lists were, which I felt like it could have worked, but they just needed to be tweaked. Or like, yeah, I like 5e the way it is, yeah, but if I like 5e, it's like we said in the episode where we talked about it. If I like 5e the way it is, then I'll play 5e. So
that's true.
So we're making
It really seems like the intention with this game is definitely, well, obviously, is to replace 5e. For
so just update the 5e handbook. Don't give
materials.
me this is a brand new edition, basically. What we're getting now is just a bunch of rules errata and reworks of subclasses.
Yeah. Well, and re-limiting some of the subclasses,
Yeah.
right? We'll see if it, the return to the old subclass progression sticks. But we're sort of losing out on, in this new updated version, we don't have all the shit from Xanathar's, and we're missing out on a lot of the things from Tasha's. So
yeah, we're just taking
And all
away
the other
we're
books
taking
that are
away
very
a whole
subclass.
lot and putting back in a whole lot of the same.
yeah, with paladins who can't divine smite multiple times on a turn. I'll tell you, that's the one thing Haymog's got on lock. If I'm ready to take a long rest. All right, let's blow some spells.
Yeah, I really want to play a
Boom,
paladin
boom.
sorcerer in this game.
Oh, I'm sure that would be
Yeah.
busted.
You know, I've heard a whole lot about this stuff, listened to a lot of reviews and whatnot, and it seems like, even from the video that we watched earlier today on the feedback, it seems like the greatest thing to come out of 1D&D so far is definitely the weapon mastery.
Yeah.
Because if you go to anything else, like, you know, there's some nerfs to paladins that are people like, maybe some things happen to the rogues, like, kind of, sort of. There's a couple classes that I think, needed a little bit of rework, which are wonderful. But even everybody that casts magic is kind of just up in the air right now, because we still don't know where the magic's going. If we are definitely going back to the class or not, or if they're going to use some of the arcane primal lists, and even the way you were choosing spells for all got weird. So to me, just the most straightforward bit that everyone seems to like is just the weapon mastery. So if we get nothing else out of 1D&D, I mean, I guess just give the melee fighters some weapon mastery and keep it the same.
Yeah, and you know what? What's interesting, and now I'm sort of curious, based on Baldur's Gate 3, is there is a weapon mastery type system in Baldur's Gate 3. Like every weapon has different properties, and there are certain like different attacks that you can do. So like with a great axe, you can cleave. And with a maul, there's it's called something different, but it's like graze. You still do some damage when you miss. So I'm really curious. Did this idea come before Baldur's Gate 3, or did it come?
Well, I don't think it's because of Baldur's
They were
Gate 3, but I
looking
think
at-
Larian in their old games like Divinity Original Sin had functions like this that they just put in Baldur's Gate 3.
That makes perfect
Yeah.
sense. But in any case, it's a perfect fit for 5e.
Yeah.
And if this game is anything to go off of, it's super fun to have those options. I mean, a lot of the
So-
time I'm not using them anyway, because I might as well just use my tried and true. But it's nice to have those like once per short rest or once per long rest options.
Then
to
just
sprinkle
give
in
me
there,
a
too.
whole book on weapons and weapon mastery then. Don't give me like
True.
in that case, give me a $30 book I can buy that that's going to get you what you're putting into this player's handbook, just all about weapon mastery and weapons and different ways to use weapons in your game.
Durnan's Weapon Master Guide.
Yeah, I mean something like that.
I would
Something
buy
like
it.
that. Durnan's Guide to Weapon Mastery. Done.
There you go.
Done. And
Oh, you know what? Just to jump out real quick, the new book, Bigsby's Glorious something.
Glory of the
Glory of the
Giants,
Giants.
Yeah, I think it's coming out like in the next few days. No.
I believe it should already be out. It dropped on the 1st of this month on D&D Beyond, and I think it was just another week. I still haven't picked
I
it up.
have also not picked it up.
Oh.
because I've been too obsessed with Baldur's Gate.
What I have
But
pre-ordered
yeah,
though
it's-
is Fandelver and Below, Shattered Obelisk.
And that's coming out next month.
Comes out in a couple weeks, yeah. And
I did pre-order it, so I need to make sure I got that.
I don't think the Amazon pre-order has shipped yet, Drew. I think it's just the PDF that's out on D&D Beyond.
okay.
That could be.
I'm
yeah.
gonna peek.
But yeah, Fandelver and Below Shattered Obelisk, I can't wait for. I really want to go through this adventure, whether I play in it or I run it. Because I want to run my favorite Phandelin campaign along with like a full-on 1 to 12 story. It's going to be so much fun. And I think after I get through my Spelljammer campaign and maybe whatever I want to accomplish with that might be a good option. But who knows what's going to come out between that piques my interest.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. I wouldn't mind a return to basics, though.
Yeah.
Again, just cannot stop talking about Baldur's Gate 3. Someone help me. It's
No, go
becoming
ahead.
a problem. But getting to play through, the 1 to 5, let's just fight some fucking goblins. I mean, if it's told in an interesting way, that's still, it's able to capture my imagination. So I definitely would love to play in Phandalin and
Yeah,
Shadow
the
Goblins,
one
for
to
sure.
5 of Baldur's Gate 3 is a masterclass. It's so good. I have been enraptured by it, and going back to it over and over again is going to be a blast. Because I made my character, did the first level stuff, and then started exploring again, and I was like, this opening area is so good. It's so well thought out, and it teaches you what it's like to be in a world like that at the beginning. Now, if you don't know the mechanics, it is a little unfriendly at first. But once you understand the gameplay, yeah, I think it's an amazing 1 to 5, and it's just a goblin based 1 to 5, and it's so good.
Yeah, absolutely. It's and there are. I'll say that there aren't enough like tutorial materials in the game to really help someone who hasn't played D&D understand.
Unless you
the
dig
scope
through
of
the
what you can do
journal
at first. But it's definitely, it's very much like, what if we made Breath of the Wild into a CRPG where, there are so many just interactions in the world that you can make happen, and things that you can do with your toolkit. Like, for example, pretty much every item you can pick up, or even dead bodies you can pick up. So if I really wanted to, I could have Karlak just start picking up people that she wants to throw, and like I could have a dead body build where my only mode of attack is throwing people that I've killed. Like that.
Yeah,
that's entirely possible. But there's also there's a high ground and low ground mechanic in this game for ranged
I think
attacks.
that's great.
So so they don't have cover anymore because basically if you have cover, then they just can't shoot you. That's how it works. So to add more flavor to the ranged attacks, if you're below someone, you have disadvantage. Or I'm sorry, not disadvantage. You have a -2 on your attack roll to hit them, and if you're higher than them, you have a +2. And so what you can do is just start carrying around boxes, and every time you're gonna get into a combat, you're like, all right, let me make my little archer tower. Asterion, you go up there, and and now you've got a good advantage over the whole battlefield. I mean, obviously people are going to be shooting at him too because he's in a good spot, but he's got they got -2 to hit him, so it's still a pretty good shot that he's going to be just fine.
Also, getting magic
in
items.
Our current campaign, we don't use a whole lot of cover mechanics. Like we don't get a whole lot of like half cover, 3/4 cover. And I was thinking about this for a while. I just don't think it's necessarily the best setting for it. Because a lot of people are casting.
Well, the reason we don't have
spells
cover
making
is because
saves.
Zach has sharpshooter, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it would matter. Yeah. It definitely would. Because Seth is always like, you probably can't hit him. Well. I
say it often.
You can see a sliver of him. Yeah.
But even us, though, because me as a wizard, right, I don't want to be in the direct line of getting shot at, right? So for a while, I went through like a little arc with Pyth where I was like hiding behind poles and diving behind the bars and stuff like that. But I feel like it's still better today just to be out there so I could see more. There's no risk of me not being able to port into somebody. Like I feel like I got to be out there in the field. So maybe like a different setting. Maybe in Storm Kings we could have used it more. Maybe I did as Eknon. I don't remember. But yeah, I think it's kind of weird we don't use it more. We should use that shield again that Ozma made a while ago with that Reinhard energy shield.
Yeah, everybody gets half cover.
That was sick. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah, which I didn't even realize that this was a function of half cover when I made it. But it also gives you +2 to dex saves on effects that originate on the other end. So that's I should be using that more. Absolutely.
A lot of wisdom saves though.
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's the problem. Dex saves are the least of our worries at this point.
Yeah, not even to mention the charisma save, where Asmodeus tries to throw you into another dimension.
Well, I mean, no big deal right now. Nat 20, easy. All you have to do when something bad happens is just Nat 20.
Of course.
Just do it.
Yeah, my character died. Excuse me, DM. Nat 20, I'm actually alive.
Oh, well, the dice do say.
God.
I'm still afraid to move that die from last week. I still have it sitting on the 20 line. And I'm like, if I move it, I'll lose all of my Nat 20s forever.
Was it a Nat 20 portent? Or the
no,
Nat 20 that
it was a Nat 20 to save.
Against Asmodeus.
To hold the doors closed.
Oh, that one.
Yeah. Yeah. He was getting into my mind. He was like, let them in. I'm like, no. That was sick. Oh, God.
All right. Well, I think we've talked enough about Baldur's Gate and D&D today. Obviously, guys, go support Larian Studios. Even if you're not going to play the game, go buy it. Because in the gaming space, we need more games like this where it's obviously a passion project. It's something that they really wanted to work on, and it's something that has made tons of money in response to that. So maybe putting passion into your projects does pay off. Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Table Talk Friday. I didn't say it, but I was joined by my two best friends, Zach Harvon and Andrew Romano. Thank you guys so much for listening. You can find more of this kind of content over with Good Old Gamer on patreon.com/TableTalk Friday, where we have a bevy of just bonus stuff for you to get into. Things like the bonus episodes, getting stuff a little bit early, interacting with us directly as we respond to the comments on our Patreon. So go check that out and become Frontgate Eric today. But with that, I'm really just gonna need the Mind Flayer in my mind to take me out. Actually, I scratch that. I need the tadpole in my head to take me out.
Well, that would be easy, but because I'm in your mind, I can tell that you didn't enjoy that. In any case, I know that you're going to have a good rest of your day because I can read your thoughts and that's your plan. So go and do that.